Severe weather warnings across northern Queensland, heavy rainfall, potential tropical cyclone development, flash flooding concerns. That is what we were dealing with this week. I've examined the latest from the Bureau of Meteorology, analysed the forecast models, and looked at what is developing across the continent. Multiple weather systems are affecting different parts of Australia, and understanding each one helps you prepare properly. Right now, conditions across Australia couldn't be more varied. Mount Carbine hit 30 degrees this morning with 85% humidity. Extremely muggy after daybreak rain. That warm, sticky air mass has been parked across far north Queensland all week. Compare that to down south where we saw record-breaking heat yesterday. Mildura reached 48.9 degrees. Renmark hit 49.6, tickling on 50 degrees Celsius, ludicrously hot temperatures that shattered previous records. A developing tropical low system across northwestern Queensland has significant rainfall potential. If you anywhere from the Gulf of Carpentaria down through the eastern Gulf Coast, pay close attention to this system. Let's talk about what is happening meteorologically, because understanding the setup helps you understand the risk. Tropical low 18U is positioned between Mount Isa and the Carpentaria coast. It's broad and weak at the moment, but it's tracking slowly northwest toward the Gulf of Carpentaria. That is the critical part of this forecast. When this system reaches the Gulf, it can tap into warm water. Sea surface temperatures are sitting around 29 to 30 degrees. That's more than enough energy to allow this system to redevelop and intensify. We're re-looking at favourable atmospheric conditions as well. Low wind shear, good upper level divergence. The ingredients are there. There is an outside chance this becomes a tropical cyclone, possibly swinging back toward Mornington Island in an unusual track. If it intensifies, it would likely remain weak. Category 1 at most. But whether it gets a name and becomes officially classified as a cyclone is largely irrelevant to what you need to know. The rainfall is what matters. That is the primary threat from this system, and that's what we need to focus on. The access model is showing potential rainfall between 500 and 1,000 millimetres along the southeast Gulf Coast. Some of the more aggressive model runs are even higher, but we need to treat those extreme numbers with appropriate scepticism. What is more realistic is this. Burketown and Corumba could see very significant totals. We were talking about 250 to 500 millimetres quite likely, with isolated areas potentially seeing more. Inland areas like Normanton and Gregory are looking at around 150 millimetres each. Still substantial rainfall, but not the extreme totals we might see right on the coast. Anything over 1,000 millimetres would be highly unlikely at this point. That is the extreme end of the modelling. But even if we only get half of what some models suggest, and that is a reasonable middle ground, we're still looking at serious rainfall in a short period. 250 to 500 millimetres falling over 2 to 3 days is a major rain event by any measure. The coastal focus is key to understanding this forecast. Showers and thunderstorms will stream in from the Gulf, driven by onshore flow. When that moisture-laden air collides with the coastline, it's forced to rise. That is where the heaviest falls develop. It is a classic Gulf low pattern, and we've seen it before. The orographic lifting combined with convergence creates persistent heavy rainfall in a relatively narrow band along the coast. Northwestern Queensland is no stranger to flooding. You remember the Boxing Day floods that came through just over a month ago. The Bino River was absolutely roaring, water flowing over roads, extensive flooding through the catchments. Those images of water pouring across the landscape were dramatic, and the impacts were significant. That water has since dropped substantially, but it paints a clear picture. We're currently dealing with saturated catchments. The ground is already wet. River systems are still running higher than normal. That means any additional heavy rainfall has nowhere to go except straight into flooding. The difference this time, and this is important, is where the rain is falling. Because this system is tracking closer to the coast rather than sitting upstream through the Lynd River, Gilbert River, Gregory River or Richmond River catchments, the rainfall is going to flow back out into the Gulf of Carpentaria much more quickly. Water falling on the coast doesn't have time to accumulate in the major river systems the way it does when systems sit inland for days. It runs off fast. That means flooding is still highly likely, particularly flash flooding in coastal areas and along smaller watercourses, but the risk of major river flooding is reduced compared to what we experienced on Boxing Day and the days that followed. Don T, let that reduce your vigilance though. 200 to 500 millimetres falling on already saturated ground will cause serious problems. Low-lying areas will go under, roads will be cut, possibly for days. Creeks and smaller watercourses will run hard and fast. If you're in the Gulf region, you need to be prepared for isolation. Stock up now before the weather deteriorates. Let us talk timing, because knowing when this hits helps you prepare properly. Today, Wednesday, in the early stages. Showers and thunderstorms are continuing across northwestern Queensland. The Daintree coast has been copping it over the last couple of hours. Another 100 millimetres is certainly possible through the Daintree today, but for these locations, that's manageable. They are used to heavy rainfall and have the infrastructure to handle it. Tomorrow, Thursday, brings a brief respite. Conditions actually ease across the Cassowary coast and Daintree rainforest as the low-pressure system and associated trough move further north and offshore. You will still see scattered showers here and there. This is the tropics after all, but Thursday looks like the driest day of the week for far north Queensland. Use that window if you need to get things done. Friday sees scattered showers and thunderstorms return to the picture. Nothing too severe at this point, but the system is building moisture, setting the stage for what's coming over the weekend. You'll notice the humidity increasing, winds shifting more easterly, cloud cover building. The weekend is when this system really gets going. Saturday and Sunday, we're looking at the tropical low positioned over or very near the Gulf of Carpentaria. That S when rain rates pick up significantly. Widespread showers and thunderstorms across the Gulf Coast, not just occasional showers, persistent heavy rainfall, the kind that sets in and just keeps coming hour after hour. This pattern continues into early next week. Monday and Tuesday look particularly active. We have a reliable pattern with Gulf systems. When Gulf of Carpentaria low-pressure systems or tropical cyclones approach landfall or move near the coast, we typically see a major uptick in rainfall across the Cassowary coast and the eastern Gulf coastline. Whether it's brief or prolonged depends on the exact track, but the increased rainfall is almost guaranteed. So if you anywhere from Waipa down to Normanton, across to Burketown, or inland to Mount Isa, the period from Saturday through Tuesday is your critical window. That S when the heaviest falls are expected. That S when roads will be cut. That S when flash flooding becomes a serious concern. After Tuesday, the system should begin to weaken and move away from the region. Showers will linger into Wednesday and Thursday of next week, but the intense rainfall should be done. The worst will be over and conditions will gradually improve. Now let's shift south and talk about what's happening across subtropical and southeastern Queensland, because there's another system developing that bears watching. Southeast Queensland has a weak, low-pressure system developing in the southern Coral Sea. This isn't tropical in nature. It's a different beast entirely, just a broad trough system that's expected to move toward the Capricornia coast over the coming days. Thursday afternoon brings scattered showers into Capricornia and possibly the southeast coast as well. Nothing severe at this stage, just typical showery activity you'd expect with a weak trough. Friday and Saturday, this system approaches more directly. At the same time, we've got the remnants of a tropical cyclone that's been lingering around Vanuatu and Fiji, also moving into the southern Coral Sea. The combination of these two systems means we're looking at a bit of a showery, turbulent period through the southern Coral Sea and northern Tasman Sea. Saturday and Sunday see showers along the southeast coast from the Sunshine Coast down through Brisbane and into northern New South Wales. Monday or Tuesday might bring isolated thunderstorms to southeast Queensland and northeast New South Wales as the systems interact. The good news for coastal areas is we've got low instability. The atmosphere just isn't primed for severe thunderstorm development along the coast. You might get isolated thunderstorms associated with the showers, some brief heavy downpours, but nothing organised or widespread, nothing severe. The real severe thunderstorm potential sits much further west. Central and Western Queensland, along with parts of central New South Wales. That S, where the atmosphere is more unstable, where we've got better wind shear, where all the ingredients come together for significant storms. Friday through Monday could bring a multi-day severe thunderstorm outbreak through those inland areas. We're talking large hail, damaging winds potentially exceeding 90 kilometres per hour, and heavy rainfall that could lead to flash flooding. This outbreak could extend into Victoria as well, particularly northern and central Victoria. It's definitely a situation worth monitoring closely over the coming days. The heat across southeastern Australia has been relentless and record-breaking. Yesterday, temperatures at Mildura and Renmark weren't just hot, they were historically significant. Low pressure sitting over central Australia has created a stagnant pool of hot air with nowhere to go. Today, temperatures are climbing quickly across the interior. Ivanhoe hit 38 degrees this morning, Birdsville reached 35, Inaminka 36. These are traditionally the hotter locations, so these temperatures aren't entirely unusual for this time of year. what makes this event concerning is the duration. This heat wave has been going on for days and it's not done yet. Tomorrow gets even hotter for South Australia, particularly around Lake Eyre and Lake Torrens. The heat continues building into the Eyre Peninsula and down to Ceduna and Streaky Bay through Friday. We re-talking temperatures back into the mid to high 40s in some areas. Northern Victoria sees heat return Friday as well, after southerly winds push it north today and tomorrow. But here's the relief. Saturday and Sunday bring a big southerly change that shoves the heat out of New South Wales and into southern Queensland. Sunday marks the end of this heat wave. Temperatures may drop to single digits in parts of Victoria, from near 50 to single digits in 72 hours. That S Australia. Extreme temperature swings that define our climate. After this heat wave breaks, there are no big heat signals for southeastern Australia for at least another week or two. Western Australia heats up in early February as schools return. That S, typical. But the southeast gets a proper break. Ex-tropical cyclone Lana is causing issues across Western Australia. Heavy rainfall around Wiluna, 150 to 250 millimetres possible. The Eyre Highway and Great Central Highway are seeing washouts and road closures. Check conditions before travelling. In the Solomon Sea, tropical low invest 94P is developing. A typical South Pacific system well offshore, no threat to Australia. It'll put on a show with massive convection as it tracks south, but won't affect the mainland. Maybe some showers for Norfolk Island. Long-range signals show the Coral Sea remains active into mid-February. We re-in peak cyclone season. More development is expected over the coming months. Gulf of Carpentaria coastal areas from Weipa to Burketown prepare for heavy rainfall this weekend into early next week. Stock up now. Supplies for a week if roads get cut. Check emergency kits. Secure loose items on properties. Move livestock to higher ground if needed. Roads will be cut. Travel before Saturday if you need to. Flash flooding is the main concern. If it's flooded, forget it. Southeastern Australia, extreme heat for 2 to 3 days, then a sharp cool change. Stay hydrated, limit outdoor activity, check on elderly neighbours. The temperature swing is brutal. One day sweltering, next day reaching for a jumper. Central and Western Queensland, Central New South Wales, severe thunderstorm potential Friday through Monday. Large hail, damaging winds possible. Get inside when storms build. Secure outdoor items. Western Australia, interior travellers check road conditions. Don T assume roads are passable. The Gulf has seen major flooding before. This time the coastal rainfall focus reduces inland flooding risk compared to Boxing Day, but coastal flooding remains dangerous and disruptive. The current heat wave is breaking records. Mildura S48.9 is Victoria S hottest reliably recorded temperature, but we've weathered heat waves before and we'll get through this with preparation and common sense. Check the Bureau of Meteorology daily. Forecasts update as information comes in. Know your evacuation routes if you are flood prone. Have communication plans that Don T rely on mobile towers. A battery-powered radio is invaluable when power is out. Move valuables to higher ground now. Clear gutters and drains. Test generators before you need them. We re-in peak cyclone season. January and February are the most active months. Sea surface temperatures are well above average. The monsoon trough is active. This tropical low is one system. There will be others. Coastal Queensland from Cooktown to the Sunshine Coast. Review your cyclone plan now. No evacuation routes and cyclone shelter locations. Have emergency kits ready. Cyclone Tracy hit Darwin Christmas Eve 1974, 217 kilometres per hour winds. The city was destroyed. We're not predicting Tracy, but these systems intensify quickly when conditions align. Fire danger across southeastern Australia deserves attention. Extreme heat, low humidity, minimal rainfall. Total fire bans are in place across South Australia, Victoria, New South Wales. Black Saturday, February 7th, 2009. 173 deaths. Ash Wednesday, 1983, 75 deaths. These aren't ancient history. The cool change eases fire danger this weekend, but stay aware of ratings. If catastrophic conditions are forecast, leave early. Look after your mates. Check on people. Severe weather test communities. The ones that do best are where people support each other. Bureau forecasts will continue refining as systems develop. Stay informed through official channels. Ignore social media rumours. Stick to the Bureau, SES and fire services. Take warnings seriously, but don't panic. Preparation means having a plan and supplies. This will pass. Weather systems move through. What seems overwhelming today will be a memory next week. From the tropical low in the Gulf to the heat wave in the southeast, severe thunderstorms in the interior to flooding in the west, it's a complex week across Australia. Take care of yourself.